Hey, loving listeners, welcome back to Mind-Blowing Motive. Have you ever felt a little different from the people around you? Maybe you think in ways others don't understand, or you notice things most people completely overlook. What if I told you those weird habits and unique thoughts might actually be signs that you have a genius brain? Most people think a genius is someone who can solve impossible math problems or create world-changing inventions. But here's the secret. True genius often hides in subtle, everyday behaviors that seem ordinary, even strange, to others. In today's powerful video, we're going to reveal 10 mind-blowing signs that you could secretly be a genius without even knowing it. Some of these signs will completely shock you and might even explain why you've always felt different. So stick around till the very end, because this video could change the way you see yourself and your future forever. Sign 1. You think deeply about everything. Have you ever caught yourself overthinking something that seemed small to everyone else? Maybe your friend are having a casual conversation, but you're sitting there quietly, connecting the dots, analyzing the situation, and asking yourself questions like, why did they say that? Or what's really going on here? If this sounds like you, it's a powerful sign that you might have a genius brain. Most people move through life on autopilot. They accept things at face value and rarely question the deeper meaning behind events or actions. But geniuses? They see the hidden layers of life. They're naturally curious, always searching for the why behind everything. This deep thinking is what drives them to come up with creative solutions, groundbreaking ideas, and perspectives that no one else has ever considered. Think about some of the greatest minds in history: Albert Einstein, Leonardo da Vinci, Nikola Tesla. They weren't just smart, they were deep thinkers. They looked at the same world everyone else saw, but they noticed patterns, connections, and possibilities that others completely missed. For instance, while most people looked at a clock and simply told the time, Einstein looked at it and started questioning the very nature of time itself, leading to the theory of relativity. That's the power of deep thinking. Now, here's something important. Deep thinking often makes you feel different or even out of place. Maybe people have called you too serious, too quiet, or even said you think too much. But here's the truth. This isn't a weakness. It's one of your greatest strengths. Geniuses don't always fit into the crowd because their minds operate on a different level. While others are busy gossiping or scrolling mindlessly on their phones, your brain is busy building ideas, solving problems, or imagining possibilities. You might also notice that you enjoy solitude more than others. This doesn't mean you're antisocial. It simply means that your mind needs space to explore its thoughts freely. Some of the most brilliant ideas in history were born in moments of quiet reflection. So, if you often find yourself craving alone time to think, journal, or create, that's another strong indicator of genius. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Deep thinkers are often misunderstood. People might not get your ideas right away, and sometimes they might even doubt you. But remember, many of history's greatest innovators were laughed at or rejected before their ideas were finally recognized. Think about Thomas Edison, who was told he was too stupid to learn anything, or Steve Jobs, who was fired from his own company before revolutionizing the tech world. So if you find yourself constantly questioning, reflecting, and seeing the world in a deeper, more meaningful way, don't suppress it. Embrace it. Your brain is wired to think beyond the surface, and that's what makes you special. Who knows? The ideas swirling in your mind today could be the inventions or solutions that change the world tomorrow. Here's a challenge for you. The next time someone says you're overthinking, smile and remind yourself that this is actually a hidden sign of your genius. While others are content to stay on the surface, you're diving deep, and that's exactly where brilliance is born. Sign 2. You have endless curiosity and ask a lot of questions. Have you ever been the kind of person who just can't stop asking questions? Maybe you've been told since childhood, "Why do you ask so many questions?" Or, "Stop overthinking everything." If that sounds familiar, it's not a bad thing. It's actually a powerful sign of a genius brain. People with extraordinary minds have an unshakable desire to understand the world around them. They don't just accept things the way they are. Instead, they keep digging, exploring, and searching for answers, even when those answers aren't easy to find. Curiosity is like fuel for a genius mind. While most people simply live their daily lives following routines and rules, someone with a genius brain always wonders why. Why do people behave the way they do? Why does the universe work in a certain way? Why do certain systems exist? And how could they be improved? This questioning attitude opens the door to creative ideas and innovative solutions that others might never even think of. Imagine a child who's fascinated by everything: the stars in the sky, the way a bird flies, or how a clock ticks. While other kids might play with toys and move on, this child keeps asking questions like, "What makes the stars shine?" Or, "How does time really work?" That spark of curiosity doesn't fade with age. In fact, for many geniuses, it only grows stronger over time. Here's the thing: society doesn't always celebrate curiosity. In school or even at work, people might get annoyed by too many questions. Teachers might tell students to just memorize the answers, and bosses might prefer employees who simply follow orders without questioning them. But geniuses can't help it. Their minds crave understanding. This natural drive to learn is why many brilliant people spend hours reading, researching, or experimenting, even when there's no immediate reward. Curiosity also leads to creative problem solving. Let's say you notice something small in your daily life that most people ignore, like why a particular app on your phone keeps glitching, or why a certain habit makes people unhappy. Instead of just shrugging it off, your mind starts racing with questions and possible solutions. Before you know it, you've come up with an entirely new idea that could make life easier for others. This is how many innovations are born, not from fancy degrees or expensive labs, but from a curious mind that refuses to stop exploring. Another interesting thing about highly curious people is that they often have a wide range of interests. You might find yourself fascinated by topics that seem completely unrelated, like astronomy one day, psychology the next, and cooking techniques the day after that. While others might think you're all over the place, this is actually a sign of a flexible, genius-level mind. By connecting ideas from different areas, you can create unique solutions and see patterns that others miss. For example, you might read a book about human emotions and later watch a documentary about technology. Suddenly, your brain links the two topics and comes up with a new idea for improving how people interact with technology. This ability to connect unrelated dots is a hallmark of genius thinking. Of course, having a curious mind isn't always easy. It can make you restless because there's always something new to learn or discover. You might even feel frustrated when others don't share your excitement or when they dismiss your questions as annoying or irrelevant. But don't let that discourage you. Some of the most valuable discoveries in history started with a simple question that everyone else ignored. To nurture this gift, keep feeding your curiosity. Read books, watch educational videos, listen to podcasts, and have meaningful conversations with people who challenge your thinking. The more knowledge you gather, the more powerful your ideas will become. And remember, your endless curiosity isn't just a quirk. It's a sign that your brain is wired for brilliance. So if you find yourself lying awake at night wondering about life's mysteries, or if you've ever been scolded for asking too many questions, smile to yourself. Those questions are proof that you have a mind built for exploration and discovery. While others settle for simple answers, you're on a lifelong journey to uncover the truth. And that's the mark of a true genius. Sign 3. You notice details that others miss. Have you ever been in a room full of people, yet you notice things that no one else seems to see? Maybe it's a tiny change in someone's expression, a small flaw in a design, or an unusual pattern in data that everyone else ignores. If this feels familiar, congratulations. This is a clear sign of a genius brain. People with extraordinary minds have an incredible ability to observe the world in minute detail. While most people walk through life half asleep, absorbing only what's necessary, geniuses notice subtleties that can completely change the way they understand a situation. This skill might seem small, but it's a cornerstone of creativity, problem-solving, and innovation. Think about it. When you notice subtle details, you can predict outcomes, understand emotions more deeply, and make decisions that others simply can't. For instance, you might see a slight hesitation in a coworker's voice and realize they're hiding something, or you might spot an error in a process that would otherwise cause a major problem later. These observations often lead to breakthroughs, because paying attention to what others overlook allows you to see patterns and connections invisible to the average person. Highly observant people also tend to be excellent learners. They don't just absorb information, they analyze it carefully. When reading a book, they notice inconsistencies or hidden meanings. When watching a movie, they pick up on foreshadowing, symbolism, and character nuances. Their brains are constantly processing layers of information that most people simply miss. This ability to see beyond the obvious gives them a huge advantage in both personal and professional life. Another aspect of noticing details is a heightened emotional intelligence. People with genius-level brains often pick up on micro-expressions and subtle cues in conversations. They can sense when someone is upset, uncomfortable, or hiding something, even if that person is smiling on the outside. This skill makes them empathetic, strategic, and often influential, because they understand what others are thinking and feeling before anyone else does. However, being highly observant can also feel overwhelming at times. You might find yourself noticing imperfections or risks that others ignore, which can make decision-making more stressful. You might also feel isolated because people often dismiss your insights or fail to understand why you see things differently. But remember, this attention to detail is a rare gift. It's the same skill that allows inventors to perfect designs, writers to create deeply immersive stories, and strategists to anticipate challenges before they happen. Here's a little exercise to strengthen this ability. Next time you're somewhere familiar, like your home or workplace, spend 5 minutes quietly observing your surroundings. Notice things you've never paid attention to before. A crack in the wall, the way light falls on a table, the expressions of people around you. You'll be amazed at how much more your brain picks up when you actively focus on the details. Being detail-oriented also connects directly to creativity. When you notice subtle patterns, you start to connect ideas in ways others wouldn't think of. For example, you might see a connection between a natural phenomenon and a solution to a daily problem, or between two seemingly unrelated topics that, when combined, create something entirely new. This ability to see what's hidden in plain sight is a hallmark of genius thinking. So, if you constantly find yourself observing more than the people around you, or if you're naturally sensitive to the little things that others ignore, take pride in it. Your mind isn't just seeing the world, it's decoding it. While most people are satisfied with surface-level understanding, you're diving deeper, noticing the hidden details that hold the keys to insight, innovation, and brilliance. Your gift of noticing what others miss isn't just a quirk. It's the lens through which genius perceives the world. Embrace it, cultivate it, and let it guide your thoughts, actions, and decisions. It's this attention to detail that sets extraordinary minds apart from the ordinary, and it's one of the clearest signs that your brain is operating on a genius level. Sign 4. You learn things quickly and retain knowledge easily. Do you ever feel like your brain absorbs information almost effortlessly? Maybe you read a book once and remember the key points for months, or you watch a short tutorial and instantly understand a complex concept. If this sounds like you, it's a strong indicator that your brain operates on a genius level. People with ordinary learning habits often need repetition, long study hours, or constant reminders to retain new knowledge. But geniuses? Their brains are like sponges. They don't just memorize facts, they understand them deeply and store them in a way that allows them to recall and apply the knowledge whenever needed. This skill is incredibly valuable because it allows you to connect ideas, solve problems, and think creatively without struggling to remember basic information. For instance, let's say you're trying to learn a new language, a musical instrument, or a programming skill. While most people might feel frustrated after hours of practice, someone with a genius brain can grasp patterns quickly, spot connections, and progress faster than others. This doesn't mean you have to be perfect immediately. It just means your mind is wired to learn efficiently, analyze information, and retain it for long-term use. One of the reasons geniuses learn quickly is that they're highly curious and focused. When you genuinely care about understanding something, your brain naturally prioritizes that information, making it easier to remember. The more interest you have in a topic, the stronger your brain's neural connections become, creating a kind of knowledge network that helps you apply what you've learned to new situations. Another aspect of fast learning is adaptability. People with genius-level brains can take what they know in one field and apply it to another. For example, understanding patterns in nature might help you solve a problem in technology. Recognizing cause and effect in history might give you insight into human behavior. Your brain doesn't just store facts in isolation. It creates a web of knowledge that you can use creatively and strategically. This ability also affects how you solve problems. When faced with a challenge, your mind quickly recalls relevant information from your past experiences, studies, or observations. You don't have to reinvent the wheel because your brain naturally connects the dots, often in ways others wouldn't think of. This is why highly intelligent people often find innovative solutions that seem obvious to them but revolutionary to everyone else. Here's another point. People with genius-level learning abilities often have excellent long-term memory, not just short-term recall. You might find that you can remember details from childhood, lessons you learned years ago, or conversations that happened a long time ago, all of which can give you unique perspectives and insights that others might miss. However, this ability can sometimes feel like a double-edged sword. Because your brain absorbs so much information, it can become restless or bored if you aren't constantly challenged. Ordinary routines, repetitive tasks, or shallow conversations might feel tedious because your mind craves growth and stimulation. But this is exactly what separates a genius from an average thinker. The drive to constantly learn, explore, and expand knowledge. To cultivate this gift, feed your brain with diverse sources of information. Read books from different genres, explore new skills, and challenge yourself with puzzles, critical thinking exercises, or creative projects. The more you exercise your learning ability, the stronger and faster your mind becomes. So if you find yourself picking up new skills quickly, remembering details effortlessly, or connecting ideas in ways others can't, embrace it. Your brain is wired to learn, adapt, and innovate at a level that many people only dream of. This natural ability to absorb and retain knowledge is not just a talent. It's a clear sign that your mind is operating on a genius level, capable of achieving extraordinary things. Your fast-learning brain is a superpower. Nurture it, challenge it, and let it guide you to discoveries, ideas, and achievements that others might never even imagine. Sign 5. You solve problems in unique ways. Have you ever faced a problem that seemed impossible, only to come up with a solution that surprised everyone, including yourself? If this happens often, it's a clear sign that your brain works like a genius. Most people approach problems the way they've been taught. Follow a set method, use standard solutions, or rely on trial and error. But geniuses, they see problems differently. They don't just accept the rules or limitations everyone else follows. Instead, they look for creative paths, unconventional solutions, and hidden opportunities that others can't see. Imagine a situation at work, school, or even in daily life. Others might get stuck or frustrated, trying the same approach repeatedly. But your mind automatically scans multiple possibilities, evaluates them quickly, and often lands on a solution that's unexpected yet effective. This ability to think outside the box isn't learned overnight. It's a natural trait of a genius brain. People with this skill often combine knowledge from unrelated areas. For example, they might solve a problem in business using ideas inspired by nature, psychology, or art. This cross-connection of ideas creates solutions that are innovative, efficient, and sometimes revolutionary. While others are limited by conventional thinking, your mind thrives in uncharted territory. Another key point is that geniuses don't fear failure. They know that a failed attempt isn't the end, it's data. Each attempt teaches the brain something new, which can be used to refine the next approach. This resilience allows them to keep experimenting until they find the perfect solution. Ordinary minds often give up too soon, but a genius mind views every challenge as a puzzle waiting to be solved. Problem solving also connects with observation and deep thinking. Because you notice details and think critically, your brain can predict consequences, foresee challenges, and prepare multiple strategies in advance. This foresight makes your solutions not just creative, but also practical and highly effective. Even small daily problems can reveal this genius trait. Maybe you reorganize your workspace in a way that boosts productivity, find a shortcut in your daily routine that saves time, or help a friend see a situation from a perspective they hadn't considered. These moments might seem minor, but they're proof that your brain naturally looks for solutions that others overlook. The key to nurturing this ability is to embrace challenges rather than avoid them. When faced with a problem, resist the urge to follow the crowd. Take a moment to analyze it from different angles, ask unusual questions, and explore multiple possibilities. Over time, your brain will become even sharper at finding solutions that seem impossible to most people. So, if you're the kind of person who can look at a messy problem and see a clear, innovative solution, celebrate it. This isn't just clever thinking. It's a hallmark of genius. Your mind doesn't settle for ordinary answers. It seeks extraordinary solutions that can change outcomes, improve lives, and sometimes even transform the world. Your unique problem-solving ability is a superpower. Keep trusting it, keep experimenting, and let it guide you to ideas and solutions that others would never even imagine. This is one of the clearest signs that your brain is wired for genius-level thinking. Sign 6. You have a strong imagination. One of the most powerful signs of a genius brain is a vivid and active imagination. If you often find yourself daydreaming, visualizing scenarios, or creating ideas in your mind that feel real, your brain is operating on a higher level. While most people think imagination is just for children or artists, it's actually a core trait of genius thinking. Imagination allows you to explore possibilities beyond the limitations of the present. It's what lets you innovate, strategize, and see opportunities that others simply overlook. A strong imagination doesn't just entertain, it empowers. For example, you might imagine solutions to problems before they even occur, mentally rehearse conversations or projects, or picture a better version of your life. This mental simulation gives you an advantage because your brain has already considered multiple outcomes and scenarios. By exploring these ideas internally, you're preparing yourself to act creatively and intelligently in the real world. Genius-level imagination also connects with empathy. When you can vividly imagine experiences from other people's perspectives, you understand their emotions, thoughts, and motivations more deeply. This allows you to communicate more effectively, solve conflicts creatively, and influence others positively. Ordinary minds often struggle to see beyond their own perspective, but imaginative thinkers excel at stepping into someone else's shoes. Another sign of imaginative genius is your ability to connect unrelated ideas. You might see a solution to a problem by combining concepts from completely different areas. For instance, something you read in history could inspire a solution for a current challenge, or an observation from nature could trigger a groundbreaking idea. Your mind constantly experiments with possibilities that others wouldn't even consider. Imagination also fuels creativity and innovation. When you let your mind wander freely without judgment or limits, it sparks ideas that can lead to inventions, art, stories, or even new ways of thinking about life. This is why people with strong imagination often excel in fields like science, writing, business strategy, or design, but it's not limited to those areas. Imagination is simply a way your brain explores potential, no matter the field. However, having a strong imagination can sometimes make you feel different or disconnected from reality. You might get lost in your thoughts, daydream often, or notice that others don't understand the ideas in your head. But remember, this is a sign that your brain sees beyond the ordinary. Most people are content with what exists. You're already envisioning what could be, and that's a true genius trait. To strengthen your imagination, give your mind freedom to explore. Journal your ideas, sketch concepts, visualize scenarios, or play with what-if questions. The more you exercise this ability, the sharper and more creative your thinking will become. So if you constantly see possibilities, imagine different outcomes or dream up ideas that seem unusual to others, embrace it. Your imagination isn't just a hobby. It's a sign of extraordinary mental power. While most people are limited by what is, your mind thrives on what could be. A strong imagination is one of the most exciting signs that your brain is wired for genius. Nurture it, trust it, and watch how it transforms your thinking, problem-solving, and even the way you experience the world. Sign 7. You thrive on challenges, not comfort. One clear sign of a genius brain is that you don't just handle challenges, you seek them out. If you often feel restless with routine, crave new experiences, or push yourself to tackle difficult problems, your mind is wired to grow and excel in ways most people never experience. While many people prefer comfort and stability, geniuses thrive on challenges. They understand that growth, creativity, and innovation come from pushing boundaries rather than staying safe. If you find that boredom or repetition frustrates you, it's not a flaw. It's a sign that your brain is constantly seeking stimulation, learning, and self-improvement. People with genius-level minds approach challenges differently. They don't see obstacles as roadblocks. They see them as opportunities to learn, experiment, and discover solutions. Even when a task seems impossible, your mind instinctively looks for ways to navigate it, think creatively, and outperform expectations. This resilience and persistence set you apart from ordinary thinkers. Another important aspect is that challenges excite you rather than intimidate you. While others might shy away from a difficult project, a tough problem, or an unfamiliar situation, your brain sees the potential for growth and exploration. This hunger for challenge is why geniuses often achieve remarkable success in life. They're not content with what's easy. They thrive in the face of complexity. This mindset also develops self-confidence. When you repeatedly confront challenges and succeed, your brain builds a mental library of strategies, problem-solving skills, and resilience. You begin to trust your abilities to handle uncertainty, adapt to new situations, and overcome obstacles that would paralyze most people. Interestingly, geniuses also learn from failure in a unique way. They don't just see mistakes as setbacks. They analyze them, extract lessons, and use those insights to improve. Ordinary minds often feel discouraged after failure, but a genius mind sees it as part of the journey toward mastery. This ability to embrace difficulty and grow stronger from it is a hallmark of extraordinary thinking. Even small daily challenges reveal this trait. Maybe you enjoy learning a new skill that others find frustrating, solving complex puzzles, or taking on responsibilities that push your limits. These experiences keep your mind sharp, creative, and adaptable. Essential qualities for a genius brain. To cultivate this strength, don't shy away from challenges. Seek out experiences that stretch your abilities, push you outside your comfort zone, and test your limits. Over time, your brain will become more adept at handling complexity, navigating uncertainty, and finding innovative solutions. So if you naturally gravitate toward challenges, embrace difficult tasks, or feel alive when solving complex problems, recognize it as a sign of genius. Your brain doesn't settle for easy paths. It thrives where others hesitate. The drive to seek challenges isn't just ambition. It's a clear indicator that your mind is wired for extraordinary achievement, growth, and creativity. Embrace the hard paths because they are shaping your genius every single day. Sign 8. You remember your dreams and think about them. If you often wake up from vivid dreams and spend time analyzing or reflecting on them, that's a strong sign of a genius brain. Most people forget their dreams within minutes of waking, but highly intelligent minds tend to remember theirs in detail and even use them as a source of insight, creativity, or problem solving. Dreams are more than random images your brain produces while you sleep. They are a reflection of your subconscious mind, processing emotions, experiences, and information in unique ways. People with genius-level brains naturally pay attention to these mental patterns and often use them to fuel ideas, make connections, or understand themselves better. For example, you might notice recurring themes in your dreams, or find that a dream provides a fresh perspective on a problem you've been struggling with. This ability to connect the subconscious to conscious thought is a hallmark of extraordinary thinking. Many creative breakthroughs, from music to design to complex problem solving, have been inspired by dreams and the insights they provide. Highly imaginative and intelligent people often treat dreams like a playground for the mind. They don't dismiss them as meaningless. Instead, they explore symbolism, patterns, and emotions. By doing so, they gain insights that others might overlook in their waking lives. Even a simple dream about a scenario or conversation can trigger a creative idea, a solution to a problem, or a new way of thinking about a challenge. Another interesting aspect is that remembering dreams usually comes with strong visualization skills. People with genius-level brains often see images, colors, or scenarios vividly in their minds. This visualization ability doesn't just stay in dreams. It spills into their waking lives, helping them plan, strategize, and imagine solutions before taking action. Dreams can also enhance problem solving. Have you ever woken up with an idea for a project, a solution to a personal challenge, or even an unexpected insight? That's your brain working behind the scenes while you sleep. People who pay attention to these moments and reflect on them tend to develop a unique advantage in creativity, innovation, and understanding complex patterns. Sometimes your focus on dreams might feel unusual to others. Friends or family might say, "Why do you always remember your dreams?" Or, "Why do you think so much about them?" But for a genius mind, this is natural. The ability to connect subconscious insights with conscious reasoning is rare and powerful. To make the most of this ability, try keeping a dream journal. Write down your dreams immediately after waking and review them periodically. Look for patterns, emotions, or unusual ideas. You'll be amazed at how your subconscious mind, combined with conscious reflection, can unlock solutions, spark creativity, and deepen your understanding of yourself and the world around you. So, if you frequently remember your dreams, analyze them, and use them as inspiration or insight, recognize it as a sign of genius. Your mind doesn't just process reality, it explores possibilities beyond it, connecting conscious thought with the rich, imaginative world of your subconscious. Pay attention to your dreams because they're not just random stories, they are a window into the extraordinary potential of your genius brain. Sign 9. You often question social norms and traditions. Do you find yourself wondering why people do things a certain way, or questioning rules and traditions that everyone else seems to accept without thought? If so, that's a clear sign of a genius brain. People with extraordinary minds rarely accept things at face value. They analyze, challenge, and explore the reasoning behind social norms, traditions, and widely held beliefs. Most people follow routines and societal expectations without thinking deeply about them. But genius-level thinkers constantly ask, "Why do we do this?" Or, "Is this really the best way?" This questioning isn't about being rebellious. It's about understanding the world on a deeper level and seeking more effective, meaningful, or logical alternatives. For example, you might notice that a common practice in your workplace, school, or community doesn't make sense or could be done more efficiently. While others accept it as just the way things are, your mind starts analyzing, brainstorming, and exploring better solutions. This critical thinking is a hallmark of genius. Questioning social norms also allows you to innovate. Many extraordinary ideas, inventions, and movements throughout history were born because someone dared to question the accepted way of doing things. When you challenge norms, you open the door to new perspectives, approaches, and discoveries that others might never consider. This tendency also shows a high level of independent thinking. Genius-level minds don't rely solely on what authority figures, peers, or society say. Instead, they use observation, reasoning, and personal experience to form their own conclusions. This independence often leads to original ideas and unique solutions that stand out in any field. However, constantly questioning norms can make you feel different or misunderstood. People might see you as unconventional or even controversial. But remember, many groundbreaking thinkers and creators were considered unconventional in their time. Their willingness to challenge norms is what allowed them to see possibilities that ordinary minds overlooked. To nurture this trait, practice thoughtful observation and reflection. When you encounter a rule, tradition, or common practice, pause and ask yourself, why does this exist? Does it make sense? Is there a better way? Over time, this habit sharpens your critical thinking and strengthens your ability to find solutions that are both innovative and practical. So if you naturally question traditions, challenge the status quo, or think deeply about why people do what they do, recognize it as a sign of genius. Your mind isn't content with the ordinary. It seeks understanding, improvement, and innovation. This curiosity about social norms isn't just skepticism, it's a window into your extraordinary thinking. By questioning the familiar, you're training your brain to see beyond the obvious and uncover possibilities that most people never even notice. Sign 10. You feel and think more intensely than others. One of the most powerful signs of a genius brain is the intensity of your thoughts and emotions. If you experience life more deeply than most people, whether it's joy, sadness, curiosity, or inspiration, your mind is processing information on a higher, more profound level. Highly intelligent minds don't just skim the surface of experiences. They dive deep, analyzing, reflecting, and connecting emotions with ideas. For example, a simple conversation might spark hours of thought, or a small observation in nature might trigger a flood of ideas and insights. This heightened awareness allows you to understand the world and the people around you more deeply than most. Emotional intensity also fuels creativity and problem-solving. When you feel deeply, you're more likely to notice nuances, empathize with others, and imagine possibilities that ordinary thinkers might miss. This connection between emotion and intellect allows you to approach challenges with originality and insight. It's why people with genius-level minds often excel in fields that require both analytical thinking and creativity. Another aspect is self-reflection. Genius minds spend a lot of time thinking about their own thoughts, actions, and decisions. You might ask yourself questions like, why did I react this way? Or, what can I learn from this experience? This constant self-awareness helps you grow, adapt, and make better choices, while also strengthening your ability to understand complex ideas and human behavior. However, feeling and thinking intensely can sometimes feel overwhelming. You might get caught in overthinking, emotional highs and lows, or a constant search for meaning. But these challenges are actually signs of a powerful, active mind. They indicate that your brain is processing the world in a richer, more detailed way than most people experience. To harness this intensity, channel it into learning, creating, and problem-solving. Journaling, meditation, or exploring new ideas can help you focus your thoughts and transform intense emotions into productive insights. Over time, this practice strengthens both your emotional intelligence and cognitive abilities, allowing you to navigate life with clarity and creativity. So, if you notice that you experience life more deeply, think more profoundly, or feel emotions more intensely than others, take pride in it. This isn't a weakness. It's one of the clearest signs that your brain is operating at a genius level. Your intense mind is a superpower. It allows you to see what others overlook, feel what others ignore, and think in ways that are both deep and transformative. By embracing this intensity, you unlock the full potential of your genius brain. Conclusion: embrace your genius brain. Congratulations! By now, you've discovered the 10 powerful signs that you might have a genius brain. From thinking deeply and asking endless questions to noticing details others miss, learning quickly, solving problems creatively, imagining vividly, seeking challenges, reflecting on dreams, questioning norms, and feeling intensely. Each of these traits sets your mind apart from the ordinary. The most important thing to remember is that having a genius-level brain isn't just about being smart in the traditional sense. It's about how you perceive, analyze, and interact with the world around you. Your unique way of thinking allows you to see possibilities, understand complex patterns, and create solutions that others might never even consider. Many people feel different, misunderstood, or even out of place because of these traits. But instead of trying to fit in, embrace them. Your mind operates differently, and that difference is a gift. By recognizing and nurturing these abilities, you can unlock extraordinary creativity, insight, and potential in every aspect of your life. Here's a challenge for you. Start observing yourself. Notice when you're thinking deeply, imagining vividly, or connecting ideas in ways others don't. Celebrate these moments. They are proof that your brain is capable of brilliance. Feed your curiosity, take on challenges, and trust the power of your imagination and insight. Remember, genius isn't a label. It's a mindset. It's how you think, perceive, and act in the world. By embracing your genius brain, you're stepping into a life of deeper understanding, creativity, and limitless possibilities. So, love your mind, trust your thoughts, and never underestimate the incredible power within you. Your genius is real, and it's waiting for you to fully unleash it. Hey, loving listeners, if you enjoyed unlocking your genius mind, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join Mind-Blowing Motive for more.